All right, coming to you live, Soup's on with Ben and Friends. I'm Soup.
And I'm Ben.
Welcome. We're just here chilling. Sunday is the record day.
I gotta say, this was a really beautiful Sunday, and I think everyone out in their personal lives should have a Sunday like this every once in a while, because it was freaking great, man. Like, barbecued a little bit, had some carne asada, had some beer, hung out. It was great, man. Smoked a couple stogies, as we tend to do, and it was medicinal. It was much needed.
Yeah, I mean we're both gearing up for Sober October, so it's always nice just to I don't know, kind of talk about it beforehand and see who's in or who's out. It's interesting when some people aren't in. You kind of question
Yes.
why aren't you in? Is it that you like drinking so much? Like, drinking's fun, but at a certain point you're like, is it that fun?
Yeah, I like how you said, are you a big pussy? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, not to call you out because we all enjoy partying, but it is a fun challenge. I mean, I would say a component of it is the getting healthy component, but another part of it is just kind of the mind over matter aspect. It's like, hey man, like here's a challenge. Like this is something that you really like, and in our culture, it's like we're not used to going without because everything's so readily available. It's like you can have fast food 24/7. You can have alcohol, a ton. I mean, you could have it 24/7 as well if you have it stockpiled. And everything's so readily available, and we're in such an instant gratification kind of culture. And I think it's an awesome challenge. And I think it's really good. It kind of resets your body, and it's also good for you mentally to be kind of like, no, slap the hand.
I think your brain, yeah, because normally, when like I'm going home, say it's Friday night, I'm excited. I'm like, oh hell yeah, this is gonna be nice. I really enjoy, having a beer and just kicking it, and just like watching TV or something. Not to say that I am against drinking during the week. Every once in a while, there's a few extra beers in the fridge. That's the problem with me. When there's beers in the fridge, I'm like, come on, there's a beer in the fridge. What am I, Mark Norman?
Exactly. There's a great Mark Norman impression. Hey, before we get too far along, we forgot to throw on our sub recorders, our secondary recording as backups.
True.
So we'll just do that right now. We can keep recording, no big deal, but we always like to have backups. Any of you guys who are getting into the podcasting realm and it's a new thing for you, always record a backup. Because, I mean, if something goes wrong with the main feed, it's always good to have a backup. That way you don't have to go back and re-record, and that way if you have a good podcast and you're like, or you have a guest and you don't want to waste their time, it's like, oh shit, we lost that. But if you have a backup, you're good to go. You're set. You cover your bases. Insurance on the potty. Poddy.
Yeah, it's always good to have an extra setup. And here we are. We're double recording.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, I mean, we've had situations where we've recorded a podcast and then like halfway through it's like, oh, error. And you're like, oh, this is my primary recording device.
And that sucks.
Yeah. You're like, well, what am I to do? We just recorded that. Not to say it's just like lost, like it was worthless or pointless or something like that. But we like to provide content so actual people could listen because, we're familiar with podcast life. We like podcasts. Obviously, to be completely honest, everyone has a fucking podcast, but there's often times where I'm at work and I think, man, if I had another fucking podcast that I was into and I could listen to right now. So,
and that's the good thing about it. Like, I kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but like we listen to so many at least I do, and I know you do as well. Too. We listen to a ton of podcasts, and you do get to a point where you cycle through your favorites. And if you're someone that takes in a lot of content, it's nice to have something new every once in a while. Let's say you burn through your favorites, your top 3, your top 5, whatever it is, and you're looking for new stuff. It's like, well, shit, every comedian and person with access to a phone or a microphone has a fucking podcast these days. But I think that's a good thing. I would rather have too much content than not enough, So I think we really live in a great era for that. And there's always something different, It's like, let's say, Bill's podcast over here doesn't quite match your needs. You're not into it, but it's fucking popular, but it's just not your cup of tea or soup. So, you go over to Dave's over here, or you come over to ours, or you go over to, Burr's or whoever, or, fill in the blank. But it's awesome to have a variety, just like streaming shows, just like anything like that. It's cool to have a plethora of content.
It's almost like with music, your favorite band, say they drop an album and you're like listening, you're listening with that feeling of like, ooh, I hope I like this. You have a different take on it as opposed to something that's like fresh that you've never heard of. You're a little bit more skeptical, I guess. But if it's new, you're like, do I like this? I'm not really sure. You're more critical. But if it's something you've listened to for a while, you're like, let me see. I think I'm gonna like it, but oftentimes you're just like, I don't really like this track. Let me fucking skip this one and see what's on the next one. So if you don't like any of our fucking podcasts, you can fuck off.
Exactly.
First and foremost, don't listen to us anymore. We don't need you. Okay, just kidding. Please.
We love you. Please don't go.
Just kidding.
Please
Anyways,
don't go.
we're going to do an ad. Just kidding.
Dear God. We lost another sponsor.
Fuck.
Oh.
Why do you do this every time?
Good. Oh, we get all insecure and then bye-bye sponsor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so I saw something interesting on the news recently. It was just, I think I saw it yesterday. There was this track that people had been finding online. I think it was Rolling Stone that posted it. But there was this new wave track that had surfaced on the internet like 10 years ago or something like that. And it was recorded from a cassette. And it was from some radio broadcast in Europe. And these people were trying to figure out who the band was in the song. And it sounded like some like kind of German or European like new wave sound from the 80s, you know, like they were trying to go for like a Depeche Mode type sound or something like that. And people were trying to figure out who this band was, and no one could figure it out. And it's been this big mystery, and I guess this person online posted it, and they're like, hey, I have this cassette from this radio show from back in the 80s, and apparently no one knows who it is, and all these people are speculating and trying to figure out who it is. And they were able to get a hold of one of the DJs that worked for the station that the tape was recorded off of. And even that guy was like, hey, I have no clue who it is. I have no idea. And I guess at that station, they have like archives of like a bunch of records and tapes, you know, going back for decades. So some people are still trying to sift through them and try to figure out who this unknown artist is. But it's kind of a cool mystery. And in some ways, you kind of don't want them to figure it out because it's intriguing. Because in this age of Shazam and Spotify and everything, and figuring out who is the artist, it's kind of neat to have a mystery. So look it up. Look up the unknown song, the unknown new wave song. It was posted by Rolling Stone a couple days ago, and just fascinating. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, obviously we didn't always grow up in a digital world. When I was younger, I'd like a song, and you know, I would never hear that song again. I wouldn't necessarily know. I mean, even if on the radio they say, "Oh, this is fucking, I don't know, fucking, please step back from that ledge," or some shit, you know, and by so and so, and you're like, "Oh, okay, now I know the song." But oftentimes you'll like turn to a song and be like, "Oh, this is weird," and then never know. So now, obviously, you can search lyrics and everything like that. So it's definitely interesting to think that there would be something that was good content, but you had no idea of the actual band that was performing the music.
Yeah.
You know, just given the accessibility to the world right now.
Yeah, so this is from Rolling Stone. It says, the unsolved case of the most mysterious song on the internet, if you guys want to look that up. 12 years ago, a catchy new wave anthem appeared on the internet with no information about who wrote or recorded it. Amateur detectives and fans have spent thousands of hours since trying to figure out where it came from, with little luck. Inside the question that's been driving the internet crazy for years. This article is by Mr. David Brown. But yeah, super interesting. Let me see if I can find the song and play a snippet for you guys. And if anyone knows, feel free to comment. All right, enough of that. But bear in mind that was recorded off an old cassette, so it sounds a little iffy. But my thoughts on that, like I love the mystery surrounding it, but I'm thinking back in the '80s there was probably bands that were going for that sound. You know, there was like a dime a dozen. There's probably a bunch of European bands and college bands submitting their demo tapes to the radio station. And who knows, it could have been a night DJ or something that was just like, hey, I'm gonna throw these guys a bone, whatever. Give them a shot, and kind of one-hit wonder type thing, or not even that, just like some local band trying to make it. And I think that's probably what it is. And there's probably, the band probably doesn't exist anymore. Otherwise, someone would have, come out of the woodwork and been like, hey, that's ours. But probably just some European band submitting a demo tape and coincidentally got recorded and, someone reposted it. But it's a cool mystery for sure, man.
With the internet and everything, you would think that soon enough they're gonna figure out what the fuck that was.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember a few years ago I was driving home from work, and I remember seeing this weird thing in the sky, and it looked like a fucking octopus or something, like a lit up octopus or something in the sky. And I remember driving thinking, I'm gonna fucking pull over. I was heading west, and I was like, who can I fucking talk to right now that could possibly see this weird spectacle in the fucking sky? Like, what could it be? Is it aliens? Like, I literally, was gonna pull over and, figure out what the fuck it was or, record it or something. Then I get a call from a guy named Patrick that I know, and he said, do you drive west on your way home? I said, yeah. And I was like, are you looking at this weird fucking thing? We're both like, what in the fuck is it? We had no idea what it was. We couldn't have even guessed. The next day, I find out online through the news and everything, obviously with the accessibility to the internet, it was one of the SpaceX rockets going into orbit.
I saw that, yeah.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah.
It launched in California or something like that.
That was about a year ago, something year and a half, something like that.
It was yeah. Maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
But man, that shit was absolutely crazy. It's almost like not knowing. If I would have known about it and I was looking for it, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's a thing. So
but the
it's almost like
there's a
beauty.
Though.
Yeah, there's a beauty in not knowing.
Yeah.
And I think that's not a thing that happens very often.
Yeah, nowadays everything's so publicized and so everyone's so on their toes about things. It's cool to kind of have something that slips by and is mysterious, just like that. I remember seeing that. I was actually at a Target. I pulled into a Target parking lot and I was coming home from work back whatever that was, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And I remember it was evening. It was late evening, let's say maybe 6:30, something like that.
But it was dark.
The sun was setting when I saw it. And it was almost like an optical illusion. I remember parking and looking. I parked and I got out and I was looking in the western sky, and I was like, "What am I looking at?" And it was weird because it looked like a giant blimp, and I was like, "But what it was the trail behind it, the smoke trail or whatever it is," and that was all illuminated from the light of the rocket. And it looked like this giant blimp. My eyes had to adjust, and I was looking at it. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I was freaking out, and I'm like, oh my god. And then there was some lady out there looking at it too, and trying to figure out what it was. And finally, I was like, I think that's a rocket, because the light was going away from the main object. I'm like, oh, that's got to be the light coming off the rocket. And for a minute there, I freaked out. I'm like, is that a bomb? I was like, what the fuck? I didn't think SpaceX right off the top of my head or NASA or anything like that. I thought, dude, is that a bomb? Are we getting attacked by North Korea or something? And I kind of freaked for a second, And then finally, figured out what it was later on. But it was definitely mysterious and kind of scary and amazing to see because we weren't expecting it. So that kind of stuff is beautiful and cool and exciting.
Yeah, the unknown is exciting, except almost like the uncertainty is that you're not sure of what's to come with your own physical self, but you can, I don't know, I feel like with the internet and everything, you can think about statistics or what has happened before in history. I almost feel like people are more anxious and depressed or something like that because there's so much certainty in everything else.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, how do you spell the right there? Oh, are you talking about does it show ownership? You can look that up and find that out in fucking seconds and just come off as everything you wanted to be, professional, correct and not an idiot. So it's almost like the uncertainty that you feel with your emotions about particular situations, it's almost like it's amplified because with most other things you have that certainty.
Yeah. I'm really surprised in our day and age. It seems like there's obviously a lot of smart people and a lot of cool people, just like our listeners. And then there's also a lot of dumbasses out there. There's a lot of idiots and there's a lot of stupidity out there that's running rampant still. And I think that's crazy because information is so accessible and so readily available, and we have the world in our pocket with our phones and our smartphones, and it's just so weird in the age of information. There's still so many people that are stupid and they don't have any common sense or any street smarts or any social skills. There's definitely a disconnect happening still, even when there's so much information out there. Why do you think there's still so many idiots?
I have no idea. Honestly, I think that a lot of people, they have a feeling. I saw a video about this lady who stopped in front of this FedEx truck, okay, and she got out, and the video was from the perspective of the FedEx driver, and he was recording this woman, and she was upset because he honked at her. The light had changed, and he honked at her to like go, and she stopped her car, got out, and she wanted him to apologize, and he's like, for what? And she's like, you don't know what I was doing. You don't know how important that was. And he said, ma'am, I saw you. You're reading a paper. How important is that? She's like, you don't know how important that paper is. He said, I don't care how important the paper was. You're driving. That should be the most important thing right now. Yeah. And she kept saying no.
And he has places to go. He's working.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck? And she's trying to stop the cars that are going around them because obviously she's making a fucking spectacle. Yeah. And she's telling the other cars, call the cops, call the cops. And they're like, why? And she's like, oh, because he's being rude. And they're like, why? And she's like, because he honked at me.
Dear God.
If I live in a world where we have horns but we're not supposed to fucking use them, I'm going to kill myself.
Exactly.
I mean, seriously, like, what else? It would almost be like, I might as well kill myself in front of that woman and be like, okay, you're that upset about it?
Yeah.
Deal with this shit. Okay, you're fucking upset
Those
because
are the people that are...
I'm trying to drive here and you're looking at a fucking paper?
Yeah.
Like, how ridiculous would that be? That's someone's mom. That's someone's aunt. And the best part of the whole video was he stuck to his guns and she's like, you're going to lose your job. Because she's familiar with that PC culture, where she's like, "Oh, if I put this online,
cancel
or
culture.
If I do something, then people are gonna make a big deal, and he's gonna lose his job and look like a fucking idiot." No, he just honked at this woman, and he kept saying, "No, I don't care. Call the cops. Do whatever. Have them come. I don't care. I'm just trying to go." She's like, "You're not going to get to deliver your packages." And he's like, "Lady, I'm here because I honked at you. You want me to apologize?" He's like, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry you were looking at something and I'm trying to drive. You need to look at that later or do something else." And finally, she could tell she wasn't getting anything out of him. So she broke down crying and walked away.
My God, this stupid victimization culture. So annoying, dude. And the thing about that is, like, someone like that, like, really, she's the kind of sadistic person that would be happy for that guy to lose his job just because she was insulted by a horn. And here's the funny thing about the horn on a car. Like, if you tap it, you know, and it's loud, it could just be a gentle reminder, like an alert, like, hey, light's green, go. But if you lay on it too hard, like the Larry David thing, someone could be like, that was an aggressive honk, you know? And it's like, it's just so funny. There's so much gray area there. And it's just like, you know, calm down. Quit trying to get people fired because you're easily offended by the wind, you know, or by a fucking horn. You're an idiot. People like that are what's wrong with this world, man. And that lady, and then suddenly everything's going to be better because she cries and records it. And, we're supposed to have some sympathy for her. Fuck off.
What a psychopath, though. What? She thought, if I stop these cars, then they're going to be like, oh, you're right. Wow, what did he do? He honked? Are you fucking kidding me?
How
He's
dare
in a car
you?
And he honked at you?
The audacity.
No, bitch. People fucking die. Like, if anything, you're assaulting him verbally. You got out of the car? Are you fucking kidding me? You should be held accountable for the time he lost. She's like, you're not going to get to deliver your packages. She knew what she was doing. She didn't have anything going on.
Yeah.
She felt dumb, and she got out and she goes, I'm not going to take this one. This isn't on me. He's at work. A lot of times I'm driving and I think, oh, you know what? I'm not going to let him in. He's at work.
Yeah.
He's at work. I'm not going to let him in. I'm not at work. I'm going home. Fuck you. You're on the clock, bro.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll feel that way. But similarly, other times I'll think, no one's going to let this motherfucker out.
Yeah.
He's stuck. He's on the clock. Yeah. Like, he's going to be very grateful if I let him in. But also, I have a fucking limit. If I've already let 2 other people in, the third one, you're not getting in, bro. I'm not going to let you in. What am I going to do? Let everyone in and never get home? And suck a dick.
Exactly. And here's the thing. When you let somebody through, you got to get the wave. They got to give you the wave. Don't you hate when you don't get the wave? When you go out of your way to be nice, especially when there's a light up ahead or something. You're like, hey, you got 5 seconds. Go ahead, and you let somebody go in front of you, and they just ignore you. Boy, those people are fuckheads. You got to give a wave.
You got to give us something.
So you know, flip up 2 fingers and just give me a peace sign, whatever. Just be like, hey, there you go, a nod. Give me a nod. I'll take a nod. But otherwise it's like, come on, what are you, some kind of psycho?
It's so weird. I never learned that from anyone other than my dad. He was an actual truck driver, and he would always do that. He does this thing where he like almost like puts his finger up like, hey, thank you, hey.
For those of you listening, he's doing a pointing gesture.
Like a pointing gesture.
Pointing gesture.
Yeah. Like, thanks,
like you're doing like guns with your fingers,
Yeah, almost something like that. Like, I see you, you see me, thanks a lot, man, I appreciate it.
Well,
it's not like
that one, yeah.
It's not a wave, it's not like a fucking peace sign or anything like that.
You're pointing them out like, yo, thank you.
You hooked me up, I got you, thanks, man, I really appreciate that.
Good man.
I guess something like that does show that there's, a possibility for existence getting better. I mean, fuck. That lady's freaking out.
It's just basic social structure. It's like, this is a society that you choose to live in. You know what I mean? You're a part of this. Let's at least have common, very basic entry-level respect for each other and acknowledgement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially in a situation like that, you're on the road, people are already terrible. I mean, I think most people are on edge because
people are the worst.
People are getting fucking shot.
People are the worst.
Left and right. I mean, fortunately not here in Wisconsin, but...
yeah, or Philly. Or Miami. Or wherever we are this week.
Exactly. So it's definitely an interesting way to look at the world. I think that you see it through a different lens when you're driving.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel like they're, indestructible in their car. They drive fast. Maybe they have a nice car or something. That's the most interesting thing to me is that, like, I see people in Teslas or fucking Mercedes or whatever. Is it that great? Like, are you more worried? Would your stress level be even higher because someone's going to fucking ding your car? Or are you just going to be like, yeah, man, I'm trying to get home. Sometimes I have that feeling where I'm like, fuck, I'm going to get in an accident. The cars are close. But then that just opens up my focus and I'm like, oh, I need to pay more attention. But I think my car's kind of shitty. If I had a Tesla, am I going to be like, oh my God, I'm going to have to get the fuck out of here. What did I do?
I like how you're pretending like you don't have a Tesla in the garage right now.
Exactly. True.
No, I get what you mean though. I feel it. Yeah, a lot of variables.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you my road rage story I had a couple days ago. Well, it wasn't road rage, but there was an incident.
And you killed someone. It's okay, man.
Hey, whatever. My trunk's bloody, whatever.
They can't find us.
Anyway, so I was leaving work downtown, and I was cruising, and then it was about rush hour time. It was about 6 o'clock-ish. And I was turning onto a one-way street. And downtown, there's a bunch of one-way streets, and it tends to confuse a lot of people who aren't familiar with it. I'm pretty familiar with it. So I was making a right-hand turn, and I was the second lane, and there was one lane closer to me, right? Like closer to the street. So I'm turning right, and there's a guy in a little, I don't know what it was, a little Yaris or something next to me, and I drive a bigger car, and so we're turning right, and then he just honking at me and waving at me, and I'm like, yo, dude, I'm not going in your lane, don't worry, I see it. And I think he was confused as to which lanes we were supposed to go into. But I was, following the lines into my correct lane, into the second lane, and he should have just turned right into the first one. But he, gets behind me, and I see him, waving and stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? So we pull up to a light, and I, switch lanes, and I roll down my window. I'm like, what's up, man? You good? And he's like, yeah, are you? He's like, you need to learn how to drive. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you were swerving, bro. And I'm like, no, I wasn't. I was following the lines. I'm like, I was fine. He's like, are you though? Are you? And I'm like, yes, I am. And I'm like, I know, dude, I drive here all the time, every day. I know where I'm going. I'm like, you were probably confused as to which line was which. You were probably confused about the lanes. He's like, I wasn't confused. He's like, you're the one that's confused. And I was like, all right, you know what, dude? Agree to disagree. I was just like, peace. And then he looked at me. He's like, all right, we're good? I'm like, yeah, we're good. See ya. Rolled up the window, threw up the peace sign, drove off. But you could tell he was wanted to continue an argument. And I'm like, bro, I drive here every fucking day. I know where I'm going, But it was one of those situations I was proud that, usually I have a really big temper and I can fly off the handle. But in that situation, I was like, it's not worth it, dude. This is another guy probably leaving job. He could possibly, be leaving the same place I'm leaving. Could be living very similar lives, And I'm like, I'm just going to take the Rick Dalton approach and throw up a peace sign, Or grab the flamethrower. Actually, that would be the Rick Dalton approach. But anyway.
I'm not familiar with Rick Dalton.
Oh, anyway. Don't worry about it. But
but I am familiar with road rage. I know what you're saying. A lot of times, I think people get very upset and frustrated with, those small,
Yeah.
almost like forgettable situations in a car where they're like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And you're like, "Dude, I don't even understand." And I think that everyone's in their mind when they're driving. I mean, fuck, that's the only time you're not looking at a fucking screen most of the time, so
Yeah.
you're left to your own thoughts. You're not getting advertisements. You're not being told what to think.
Yeah.
You're driving and you're like, "Oh man, what the fuck is this guy doing? He's all over the road."
Yeah, and it's funny when you get to a situation like that where it's like I was in such a chill state of mind, it wasn't stressed out at all. I could understand like, oh, this guy's doing the exact same thing I'm doing right now. We're just cruising, like we're most likely heading home. And it's like I can look over and like see past that initial little incident and just be like, you know what, it's not fucking worth it, dude. Peace. I literally said peace, drove off. Like that's it. It's like there's no point in escalating it and getting into a fight or getting shot. For what? For some misunderstanding of someone thinking you were drifting in their lane? Like that's stupid, man. That's so fucking caveman. It's like just agree to disagree and be like, fuck off, whatever, go your separate ways.
Yeah, I feel like honestly that might be the way that I die. Like I get fucking frustrated, man. People cut me off, or oh yeah, I'm they'll put their blinker on and they're like, yeah, I'm trying to make a turn. I'm like, no, and I have a small car, and it's like, no, and they have a big truck, and so they forced their way in front of me. And the other day I whipped in front of this other truck, and I'm like sitting there just being a fucking dick, and I'm like, man, I'm not helping anyone. But I look, and this motherfucker's on the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what a fucking asshole. And I think, man, I have one of those quick draw kind of fucking tempers where I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Not to say that I want to fight someone, but dude, I'm totally willing to have a fucking conversation.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm fucking turning here. Why do you think that because you're trying to make a left turn that I have to be moved so that you can do it? Or if they'll like plow their way with their car, like they're so sure that they're going to make it.
Yeah.
A lot of times with that, I think, you know what? If I had an older car or something like that, fuck it. Hit me, bro. Fucking hit me. Yeah, you fucking dumb son of a bitch. I'm fucking turning here. You cut me off and you crashed into me. Now you're the fucking idiot. You crashed into me. So I think, man, when I get out of something like that, I'm like, oh, my neck, my back, fuck, I need a paramedic or something like that. Like,
yeah.
I just think, man, one of these days I might just actually take it and be like, all right, you're going to fucking crush my car. I mean, I'm especially living where we do. Fuck, I do defensive driving.
Oh,
I do defensive driving all day.
You have to every time you leave the house, because driving anywhere in the U.S., well, any big metropolitan area, there's shitty fucking traffic, man. It's you gotta be super defensive. You gotta be on your toes.
Yeah, especially in places where fucking there's free carry and fucking no concealed gun law rules and shit like that. So it's like people even feel even more empowered to be like,
oh yeah,
fuck you, man. And you're like, no, fuck you. And they're like, oh yeah, you want to die? Like,
yeah. Well, there's a lot of assholes in big trucks. Now I drive like a SUV, but like it's like medium size. It's good size vehicle. But there's some guys in like those big trucks that are souped up. Not all the guys.
An F-350.
Yeah. And people say, oh, they got a small dick. Some of them do, I'm sure. But a lot of those trucks I see around, and not all of them. I'm sure there's some cool guys that have trucks. But there's some guys out there that drive like fucking maniacs, and it's like, bro, like calm down. No turning indicators, going 35 miles over the speed limit, weaving in and out, like thinking they own the road. Fuck off. Like fuck off. Calm down. Like you're really risking your life and those around you and mine, just so you can get to your butt fuck convention a little bit faster. It's like, dude, chill the fuck out.
A lot of times those people, I think that they might have, oh yeah, they got a new car, or they're driving their girlfriend's car or something, and they're like, yeah, man, my car, and you're gonna watch out because I got shit to do. I mean, I just fucking hate those people, because I've seen like documentaries about people who fucking get in accidents, and little do you know, your skull is so soft. If you're going fucking 120 miles an hour and your head gets smashed against your windshield, it's going splat, bro. You're dead.
You're donezo. Yeah.
Or I heard one situation where there was a convertible, and I thought, oh man, the wind was in this motherfucker's hair. He thought he was fucking on cloud 9.
Oh boy.
Now he is, because he drove so fast, his head hit into the member, the piece that holds the windshield in, and it fucking opened his skull up, and his brain got squished. His fucking head got burst open by his fucking convertible top. How crazy is that?
I just imagine a pineapple going sploosh.
Hey, rest in peace, Paul Walker. What up?
Oh, poor guy. Poor guy. Yeah, rest in peace, Paul Walker. That was a bummer.
Yes.
That was a sad one.
I was listening to a podcast and they said, wouldn't it just be so funny if everyone in those movies died from a fucking car accident?
That'd be hilarious. No, I'm just kidding. No.
I think it would be kind of funny. It'd be a little ironic.
That'd be ironic for sure. That'd be fucking terrible. Yeah. But
fucking Vin Diesel.
Oh god, Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel accidentally dies with a parachute off a bridge like X. I saw that car on Jay Leno's garage. They had the what was it, like a GTO or something like that, and it was actually the one that Vin Diesel used in X. And it was funny. The guy was like, "Hey, I got to be careful driving around LA in this," because he hit a button in the back and it still had all the prop guns in the back, and it flipped around. This thing flipped in the back and it was full of like all these like assault weapons. I don't know if they were props or not, but you probably would not be in the best situation if the cops saw that.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Fuck. But yeah, driving's fucking crazy, man. Be careful and be courteous and think twice before you get into a road rage situation, because everyone's just trying to get home or, get to work or whatever. Like, calm the fuck down. That's all I have to say.
Yes, but I think a lot of that would be all solved with autonomous vehicles. I mean, because I guess if you're driving in a fucking autonomous vehicle, you're mad at that. I mean, it's like, it's a fucking robot. They're reading ones and zeros. Obviously, you're wrong.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to that, honestly, and I think that's going to be cool, and especially the big semis, because those are what stress me out on the highway. When you're driving and you're next to these gigantic skyscraper-size, Swift trucks and stuff, it's like, that stresses me out, man. I'm like, they could crush you, no problem, and barely feel you as a little bump. But, yeah, if you had autonomous vehicles, possibly in like a separate, segregated lane, and they were autonomous, like that would be awesome. I feel like that would make things so much safer. And if they just went at a consistent speed, and you did not enter that lane, and that was just for the what do you call it? Autonomous trucks, that would be awesome. Yeah. That would be very cool.
Like if it was a zone track or something like that, that would be the lane to be in when you're fucking hitting rush hour. I mean, because if autonomous vehicles come and say it's its own lane, people are still going to be driving their cars for the next fucking 50 years or whatever until that this fucking generation, dies off at least. I mean, fuck, you probably, in the future, if you're going to man your own vehicle, you probably have to take it on a fucking racetrack or something.
Oh, yeah.
Just probably. Because of the probability of causing an accident.
Yeah, they're making big strides right now, and like I think it's still a ways away just because of all the legal red tape they have to cut through. But I'm going to say we're going to start seeing autonomous vehicles out on the road with, I don't know if with people, but let's say with people. I'm going to say in the next 15 years. I'm going to say 15 years. And then until it's like a mainstream regular thing, probably realistically, I'm going to say another 25.
I forgot what state it was, but I don't even know if it's a state. I think it's like Washington, D.C. or some weird, maybe. I don't know. But they already had autonomous unmanned vehicles on the road.
Really? Yeah. Well, I know they test out a bunch in different locations around the U.S., but it's just figuring out that thing, because they had that autonomous vehicle where the person wasn't paying attention and someone was like essentially jaywalking at night in front of the vehicle, and even if the person would have been paying attention, they probably still would have gotten killed. And it was just a shit storm of bad. Well, also the media, and everything was bad about it. Like the person wasn't paying attention. The person shouldn't have been crossing there at night. It was just a bad situation in general, and that gave autonomous vehicles a really bad reputation. But I think once things are refined, and if people manning them and testing them are actually paying attention and doing their job, things will be good. Things will be good eventually, but there's a lot of kinks that'll have to be worked out for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, who hasn't fucking hit some stupid bitch on a fucking bike before? You know what I'm saying?
I did on my way here.
Dude, I fucking hit people before. I hit this lady one time. I'm not fucking... This is 100% legit. I was leaving an apartment complex, and I was fucking blazed as fuck. I was so high. And, I'm sitting there. I'm waiting.
Where's this going?
I'm waiting. I was looking. Okay. I'm obviously incriminating myself. I was looking. Okay, I don't see anyone. There's a big fucking generator, like a big fucking metal generator box on the side of me, and I can't see past it. I can see the walkway, the sidewalk, but I can't see anything. This fucking lady is on a bike, and as soon as I pull out, my car sticks, so I'm just giving it a little bit of juice. Just come on, just let's go a little bit. This lady fucking pops out of nowhere, and that's when I fucking hit it, and I was ready to go. So I'm not kidding. As soon as I fucking gassed it, this lady was right there, and I fucking bumped her. Boom!
Whoa.
And she fell right over into the middle of the street.
Whoa.
And I was still in the fucking in the exit for the apartment.
But yeah, you couldn't see
and I was
though,
like,
right?
oh my god, I'm fucking blazed. Like, I was like, fuck. That was one of those moments where I was like, I can't undo this.
Yeah,
what am I gonna do?
What happened?
And so I got out of the car, and this lady's like getting her bike, and I'm like, I'm so fucking sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Like, do you need anything? Are you okay? Do you want me to fucking call 911? Like, do you need a doctor? Or like, I'll take you to the hospital. Like, is everything okay? Little did I know this lady was like a fucking crackhead. And she's like, I'm fine. It was my fault. I should have paid attention. And I'm like, hey, okay, I'm not going to fucking argue with you here.
There you go.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to argue. I was like, I still feel bad. I was like, seriously, like, I'll wait here for the cops if you want or whatever. And she's like, no, I don't want any of that. I was like, you don't need a ride? You don't want some water or something or anything? You're fine. She's like, no, I'm fine. That was my bad. You know, I should have been paying attention. And I was like, okay. And she got on her bike, all fucking road rashed up.
Wow.
Nothing broke. And she just took off. And I was sitting in the car fucking shaking, dude.
I bet.
I was fucking shaking. I was like, I could have killed this bitch. God forbid there was fucking cars in front of me.
Ooh, yeah.
If I would have pushed her in there and then a car came, she would have been dead. And there would have been no, oh, whoops, it wasn't my fault. It would have been like, dude, you fucking hit this woman into the street.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was thinking, the cars from across the street and over here coming, like, they could see her. And they saw me talking to her and they slowed down. They're like, you guys okay? I'm like, I think so. Like, I think she's okay. And they drove off. And, yeah, I had no idea about that woman. I thought that she was possibly under the, you know, she was
probably high.
Something. Yeah. She was under the influence.
She's like, I'm on
something.
PCP. I can't feel a thing.
Yeah, she's like, dude,
don't worry about
is crazy, bro. Meth is wild, dude.
Yeah.
You'll never feel it.
She's like, I feel fine. Want me to suck you off and give me some crack? You know.
And I remember telling my friend that I left their house. I called and I'm like, I just fucking hit some bitch, and they're like, no way. And I was like, please don't tell anyone about this. Like, literally, I was literally like,
that's terrifying.
I don't want anyone to know about this. Please don't tell them. And now is like the first time in many years that I've actually fucking talked about it. But dude, I was sure that I was like gonna go to jail or something.
Wow. Well, good thing she's okay and you were okay.
I don't even know if she's okay. Like, I think
she got up and walked away. She told you were okay.
She could have used a fucking visit to the chiropractor or something after that shit. She literally, I bumped her. She fell off her bike in the middle of the street.
Terrifying.
Come on.
That's the worst.
I mean, the only worst part of that would have been if she laid there lifeless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or
if I had dragged her fucking lifeless body.
Bus came or whatever. Dude, I saw a guy get hit one time. I was, where was I? I was driving past Taco Bell, and there was a guy like it looked like kind of like a bum type guy, a hobo. And he's riding on a bike on the sidewalk, like pretty slow. And someone rips into the parking lot of Taco Bell, and they like munch his front wheel on his bike. And he like backs up, and you know, and you can see him for a second. He's still standing, and then he like falls to the ground, like on purpose, you know. And I slowed down. I'm looking at it, and the people get out of the car and they go make sure he's okay, you know, and they like help him up. And then I drove away. I don't know what happened. But it was just kind of funny because when they hit that front wheel, you know, you could tell he was okay. And then he kind of looked around and he's like, oh, pay dirt. And he threw himself on the ground.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah. So I mean, I can't blame him. You know, I mean, maybe that's his golden ticket, Charlie, you know?
That's what I think, man. If some fucking douchebag bumped me, I don't care if I was on fucking crack. I'd be like, yeah, call the cops. How much cash you got? Like, what? What's up?
How are we going to solve this?
Yeah. How are we going to make this right? Obviously, I was in the wrong. I don't give a fuck if she wasn't paying attention. She could have had a blindfold on. She could have been blind with with one of those feeler sticks riding a bike, and it would have still been my fucking fault.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky with the pedestrian stuff. I've had that a few times where it's like someone comes out of nowhere and you're like, whoa, you know, it's like knee-jerk reaction. You have to kick on the brakes because like they assume everyone sees them. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm trying to not get killed by other cars here. And, you know, the fact that some crackhead goes by on a bike in front of the car at the last second, it's like, hey, like, you got to be extra vigilant, especially in the city, you know?
Yeah, a lot of times when I'm, like, pulling out of a place, I'll just throw it in reverse and just kind of sit there with my lights on, you know? And just kind of gas it a little bit because my car is standard. And so I went to this donut shop down the street from me, and I did that. I got my donuts, and these people pulled in right next to me, and they got out of their car, and they're standing there talking, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not fucking waiting for your conversation. I knew that they were like right there, and so I throw it in reverse and just kind of kind of like gas it a little bit to move a little bit. And this little fucking guy, I guess it's like the lady's boyfriend or something, he gets all fucking tough and he's like, swear to God, if you fucking back up, I swear to God, you fucking hit me, I'll kick your fucking ass. And I'm like, what? And I roll down my window and I'm like, dude, you fucking talking to me? And he's like, yeah, you son of a bitch, you fucking faggot. You want to run me over? I'm like, dude, you're standing behind my fucking car, you fat fuck. I was like, the donut shop's over there. Like, go get your food. And I saw his girlfriend and she just kept walking. And he's like, get out of the car. And I was like, dude, you don't want me to get out of the car. I'm going to fight you over you standing behind my fucking car. I didn't hit you, you fat fuck. Go. I'm like, go get your fucking donuts, dude. And he was ready to fucking fight.
I'd be like, dude, you're the one lingering in a parking lot.
I was just like, I understand it. Like, obviously in so many words, I didn't tell him this, but it's like, I understand you're right there, but you understand I'm pulling out too. Like, you see my car, you're standing there.
Common sense.
I'm not like, pulling out, you know what I'm saying? I understand if I was driving recklessly. But I'm like, being courteous. They knew that I saw them, I acknowledged them, and I'm slowly pulling out. And he doesn't say, oh, we're back here, or something like, oh, come on, let's go, babe, or something like that.
Yeah.
He just got tough. Oh, you're a motherfucker, I'll fucking kick your ass. Really, dude? Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so, you fat fuck. Like, I'm not going to get out of the car and fucking fight someone, especially in this day and age. I just think it's not worth it to fight. It's not worth it.
And here's the thing, you never know what you're going into. It's like, yeah, if it was a fair fight, even then it's stupid, because what's the point? You know, you're either going to end up, hurting someone or getting hurt or going to jail. Or they're gonna have a gun. It's like, you don't know in this day and age, man. And it's just like, for what? Like, literally, they can't see, because they're so fucking stupid. They can't see past that one little interaction. They can't see your whole life. They see you as the asshole in the car, and that's it. We're gonna fight. I'm a tough guy. Go suck a dick, man. Fuck off. Like, it's like, that's such a narrow-minded, like, silly little perspective on life. It's like, dude, look past what just happened. Like, I don't know, man. There's so many idiots that are just so eager to fight, and it's like, for what?
There's pent-up anger, and not only that, is like, I'm sorry, I've seen people that can fight. I don't think that guy can fight. I don't think that I can fight. I've been in fights. I have fought people. I don't want to. I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling of fighting someone.
Yeah.
But I definitely know that if put in the right situation, yeah, I could definitely fight to some extent. I'm not going to be a fucking world champion or anything like that, but I could anticipate not fucking being murdered or something like that. I'm going to fight for myself. But I thought, this guy is so fucking upset in his little shitty life that he wants to take it out on me. You know what I thought when I got home? I thought he was probably arguing with his girlfriend, right? Mm-hmm. He's probably like, okay. Because I noticed after I was pulling out, she was going to the nail salon. Oh. And I pegged him as going to the fucking donut shop, this fat guy, okay?
Because he's a fat fuck.
He's a fucking fat guy. I just came from the donut shop, I'm a fat guy too.
You guys could be friends. You
exactly.
Never know.
Just a couple of fat fucks, hanging out. And I thought, man, how interesting that he really thought that, he was going to, like, prove to his girlfriend or something, or be like, hey, why don't you hurry up and put your fucking shoes on so we can go and get donuts or get your fucking nails done. I thought she's probably pulling him along. He doesn't want to go. Yeah. He's acting tough, and that is the number one time a guy is going to act tough, is when he's in front of his girl.
Yeah, exactly.
That always fucking happens. Always. At a concert, at a club.
Always, yeah.
Anytime.
Always. They got to flex,
They want to be tough. And, honestly, sometimes the girls are like, yeah, you know what he said to me? Like, they want to see it too. But in that situation, I don't think that was the case. This guy, you could tell his lady was like,
he was just angry.
I'm fucking getting out of here, you dumb son of a bitch. You're going to get killed,
Yeah.
And I thought, man, she's got the right fucking attitude. She was behind me. She's not anymore. I'm pulling out. And you're fucking standing in front of my car. Do you want me to get out and fucking punch you in the mouth, dude? Like, come on.
Yeah, it's silly, man. That's why I think MMA and boxing and martial arts and all that stuff is so important, because in our society, it's like people don't have a way to let off steam if they don't do anything like that or don't do any kind of sports or anything. You're sitting at a desk all day or you're sitting in a job, and it's just like people are getting fat and they're in unsatisfying situations, unsatisfying jobs, and unsatisfying relationships, and there's no primal release, there's no nothing. So all these people are fucking pissed off and they're dissatisfied and they just want to fight. And it's like, yeah, it's a what's the word? I guess a downward spiral. It's like it's just
it's a volatile situation. People need to be humbled.
People need outlets. You
need to be humbled. If you're at work and you fucking send emails and nobody can say this way or that way about like how you do your job. And you're like, I try. I show up to work. I do what I got to do. And obviously you're not happy there. Then in the situations where I think that you would have control, you kind of fucking it goes above and beyond. Like the other day. I work far, so I have to do a good commute. And the other day I left work a bit later, and the area that my house was built it's a kind of underdeveloped, and there's not many streetlights. And man, I'm not kidding. I was in traffic for 2 motherfucking hours, and I thought, oh my god, I can't even believe it. The buses stopped. The buses stopped and told the people to get the fuck off. I'm not kidding. They just stood there because it was literally gridlock traffic. It was such bad traffic that it's like between each light, there is 7 cars blocking the intersection because there's so many fucking people trying to drive around. Like, I've never felt that before. I thought, man, I've been to New York, I've been to San Francisco, I've been all over the country, and I've never seen traffic like that. But in reality, it was almost like I needed that. That was like Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, traffic was a fucking nothing. It was nothing. Yeah. I was like, sure, after you, sir. Yeah. I was humbled. I was actually like, I feel like brought to my knees on that situation. I was like, there's nothing I can do. I'm stuck with all these other cars and, all these other people. I feel bad for everyone. This is the absolute worst. And, after I fucking got a taste of that fucking disaster, now driving home, I'm like, okay, wow, it only took me a fucking hour when an hour commute is a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah. No, definitely, perspective, man, because you drive in rush hour enough times, then you have that nice Saturday morning where you get to drive to work or something like that, or drive into an event, and it's like, oh, wow, like, this is what it's like. This is what it's like to actually be able to lay on the gas for more than 4 seconds,
Yeah.
That's the best, dude.
Yeah, that was it, is that, like, man, there was no outlet. I could have not left. I couldn't go south. I couldn't go north. I couldn't go east. I couldn't go west to get out of there. It was just taking so long. Every single turn, I saw fire trucks. I'm like, was there a mass shooting? Is this war? Like, I can't even believe what could be going on to cause this fucking terrible traffic. And then I thought, it could just be the time. I'm not normally out on the road at fucking 4:30 or something like that.
They need to time the lights better. That's the thing. If they know it's rush hour, it'd be cool if they could add some sensors and be like, hey, there's more traffic coming, north to south or whatever. And like if they timed the lights differently, I think you could get a lot more people through. And like maybe you would have to wait, a minute longer, but more traffic would get through. And like instead of having to rush through these silly little lights that never change, like the time never changes. Like if you're, going somewhere at 3 a.m. and there's like no traffic, the lights shouldn't be the same at 5 p.m. that next day at rush hour. You know what I mean? They need to switch that up. And I'm sure in a lot of places they are, and they have engineers that know what they're doing. But it seems like around here, like the lights are fucking terrible.
Well, I think a lot of it is stop signs too. It's like a lot of the construction's happening, so a lot of the 3-lane roads turn to 2 lanes, then to 1 lane. I mean, it's fine. They're building the freeway. They're upgrading the roads. I just think, man, this is a little bit of terribleness that I have to deal with currently.
Yeah.
But it's gonna get better.
Yeah, that's why Bill Burr has a helicopter.
That's fucking genius.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have one, I think, yet, but I think I know he knows how to fly, which is pretty cool. But yeah, man.
Yeah, man, I would love to learn how to fly. I think it would be absolutely terrifying. I remember I flew over the Grand Canyon one time and I sat shotgun in this little fucking 4-seater. The first plane we were getting in wouldn't start. The guy's like, man, 5th time's the charm. I'm like, dude, I don't think it's fucking going, bro.
Or we can get in a different plane and not die.
And it just so happened that there was 2 other people that signed up like right when we were in the plane. And like, I'm not kidding. This motherfucker's like, you could imagine someone like pulling the cord on a fucking lawnmower. Like, nope. Like you could hear the engine turning a little bit, nothing, and I'm like, no, oh my god! And Fortunately, we moved to a different plane, but
yeah.
Man, riding shotgun in that bitch, I just think, man, it's just this motherfucker.
Yep.
It's just this guy, because if he fucking passes out or has a seizure or something...
Yeah, his breath smells like whiskey.
Then we're fucking dead.
Yeah. Oh, that's the worst, man.
That'd be a pretty fucking dope way to die, crashing a plane into the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, what happened to him? Well, he didn't have a parachute, I'll tell you that.
Man, you would be so fucking scared.
Yeah, and it's not high enough up where it's like if you're in like a commercial plane or coming down from like 35,000 feet, you're gonna pass out. Most likely you're gonna pass out if you're dropping really fast. You're in a little plane like that, you're awake, man. You are awake.
And you're already done.
Yeah, that's the worst.
You would hope that you would die from the impact and not from the flames.
Oh my god, yeah, you'd hope. You ever see that video one time? Boy, it took a dark path on this podcast, didn't it? You see that video one time of this guy that he died in a plane, or he didn't die in a plane crash, but he almost died in a plane crash. And
Faces of Death? I'm just kidding.
Oh god, I can't even bring myself to watch it. That's terrible. But he, I guess, apparently, according to him, was a bad guy in his waking life, and he got in this terrible crash and got burnt up, and died for a little bit. And he said, he went to hell. In his perspective, he said he thought that he went to hell, and he came back and said it felt like he was gone for like a year, and then he woke up and they revived him, and poor guy was all burnt up, but they were able to revive him, and he totally changed his life, changed his perspective on everything, tried to become a better person, all that good stuff. But talk about a scary fucking story, whether you believe the going to hell thing or not. Man, what a terrifying fucking experience,
Yeah.
And coming back from something like that. My God. You want to take a quick break for commercials?
Sounds good.
All right, here is some advertising.
Be right back.
Be right back. All right, and this episode is sponsored by Pops and Cookie. If you have any event coming up, such as a birthday, an anniversary, or a party where you want a sweet treat, you want some delicious baked goods, check out Pops and Cookie. That's Pops and Cookie. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram. That's Pops and Cookie. Get some treats.
You know my gambling ass.
Where in the world would you go if there were no Las Vegas? For lunch, you'd have to fly to Europe. For dinner, all the way back to Los Angeles. And there's nowhere you can enjoy all this in one amazing place. Only in Las Vegas.
All right. Hey, everyone, and we're back from our advertisements. Just wanted to point out this is episode 100.
What an accomplishment. I wonder what happened else on this day in history. I need to look it up. I feel like that's pretty cool, though. The great thing about episode 100, we don't really, brag about numbers or anything like that. But we've been just consistently going at it, which I think is great. And honestly, more people should do that. If there's something you guys want to do, stick with it. Do it consistently. That's the thing. Because here we are, 100. Still lazy asses, but at least we have something to show for it.
Yeah, I think that just trying to keep on keeping on. Obviously, during the earlier part of the recording sessions, we didn't have much success or like popularity, which is completely fine. I mean, I do this. It's almost like speaking with a therapist or something like that. It's just nice to actually say some things that you want and possibly connect with other people. It's not like I'm talking to myself or they're just thoughts in my own brain. Sometimes you actually have to vocalize these things and say them out loud for you to actually understand them. So it's always nice to kind of get some stuff off your chest and talk for a little while. It seems to change your thought process, to be completely honest.
I agree. And I think it's cool when comedians do it, like Burr and guys like that. So I think it's also a great way to work material out as well. And we're both creative guys. We do a bunch of different stuff. So this is just cool, especially during the week you get a lot of thoughts, and sometimes there's a lot of stories that just get lost in the ether, and it's kind of a bummer because sometimes it could be kind of inconsequential or just a little thing, but it might be interesting for someone to hear, and I've heard a lot of things from different listeners because I do a couple podcasts. People have actually written in and harped on like a certain story and talked about it, and it's like something I forgot from 2 months ago. I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. And it's kind of cool that certain stories can resonate with different people, and if we can make your day a little bit better or give you something to think about or maybe give you a laugh, that's awesome.
It's almost tragic to think that all the stupid fucking bullshit things that you said like in high school or something like that are just gone. Like
totally gone.
Obviously it wouldn't be good for anyone's publicity if shit that you said in high school was out, but bad publicity is still good publicity. I mean, to some extent, I don't think being sexist and racist or anything like that's really gonna shoot you up the fucking charts or anything like that. But
I don't know.
It would always be nice to kind of look back and to think about the things at that time, how you felt at that time. Like, fuck, even if we started recording fucking 5 years ago or something like that,
that'd be amazing,
just like those days, like when we were working together, that would be fucking crazy if we did podcasts then. Like,
can you imagine?
It's just so weird to think that you could look back or listen to insights into that day and time of your life. That's why audio recording is so interesting. It's almost like the radio's romanticized. I mean, in America particularly, like I remember watching A Christmas Story, and I never really had that feeling when I was younger, like, oh, I'm gonna listen to fucking Little Orphan Annie or something like that. Like, I never had that. I would just watch TV. I never really felt too compelled to do any particular thing. Like, I remember I would watch Mad TV for a while. That was one of my bigger things that I was into when I was younger. But also, I never really was like, I don't know why people like particular things so much. I was just kind of like, taking it all in. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to pick a favorite when, you're new, It's
Totally.
like if you haven't heard what the options are, it's hard to pick a favorite, but it's always just interesting to say what you want to say and fucking be out here on podcast land and fucking.
It's fun. I mean, everyone else is doing it. We figured we have things to say. Might as well throw it out there. Maybe someone wants to hear it.
Maybe we have nothing to say and we're just forcing ourselves to actually say something so that we could maybe create some type of buzz behind something. Maybe we should come up with some fucking fake news or something.
I don't know. I'm looking at real news right now. I'm looking at On This Day in History for movie history. I'm not seeing anything interesting on here. 1960, Johnny Ringo TV Western drama last airs on CBS. Johnny Ringo, I think he was from Tombstone. I remember him, the character's name in Tombstone. The Judy Garland Show debuts on CBS TV. My Favorite Martian, starring Ray Walston, debuts on CBS, 1963. Let's get a little closer. Let's get up to our era. 1977, on this date, Star Wars theme Cantina Band by Mecco hits number 1. Huh.
No clue what the fuck any of that is.
Let's see.
Never seen that person before.
Elizabeth Taylor, 1984, goes to rehab at the Betty Ford Clinic. 1985, Amazing Stories by Steven Spielberg debuts on NBC TV. Wow, not many things happened. 1993, Grace Under Fire, starring Brett Butler, debuts on ABC. Wow, slow news day.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally nothing happened on this day except for our 100th episode, everybody. Soup's On with Ben and Friends. Thank you for listening. So we were just talking a little bit ago between the advertisements about the coming of winter.
Yes, winter's coming. I absolutely can't wait for it. We live in a more temperate climate, to say the least. Yeah, arid. It's a bit rougher on the edges. Summer is fucking the most summer, and you'll never fucking forget it. So it's so great to just roll down the window in the morning and it's like 75 out, and you just fucking get that cool wind. I just can't wait until I can wear a fucking sweater all day. And yeah, when it's snowboarding season and shit like that, like it's definitely coming. That's the beauty of summer coming, is that winter's gonna follow.
I'm looking forward to going outside and not dying.
Yes, it would. I just want to fucking open the windows and just fucking chill. And it's so weird. Like, I can't even explain. It's like when it's cold outside, there's a certain, I don't think it's a smell particularly, but it's my nose. I get like a scent that I like. I don't know if it's the cool air or
I know what you mean,
or what it is.
And I think also you kind of smell the trees a little bit more and stuff.
Yeah, I have no fucking idea. Like, even like when it's snowing outside, I just like to go outside and fucking just smell it and listen. The best part, I always had assumed this when I was younger, but like I heard recently that there was actual scientific research to back up that when it's snowing, it's quieter. I always thought, man, it's so goddamn quiet when it's snowing. I don't understand why. And I guess it's because the sound bounces off those particles and they get refracted back, so the sound does not take up the same footprint that it would if there wasn't anything reflecting those sound frequencies.
That's why they don't have very many music festivals in the snow.
True. Also, it'd be a little bit unbearable.
It'd be the worst. Yeah, you get those little slutty girls, the EDM girls.
Yeah.
What's up with all those girls?
They find a way to show their tits or something.
Yeah, they always get their asses popping out. I'm not complaining, but like they got like those weird little outfits that just kind of came about within the last like 8-10 years, and yeah, like those, you know what I mean, like those EDC girls, you know, and they're always like, oh, look at me, I'm a free spirit, you know, give me Molly, I'll suck your dick, you know, like those ones, you know. I mean, that's fine. You know, as they say nowadays, live your best life. But it's fucking annoying when everyone says that, isn't it?
I would think almost like that must be like this is gonna sound real bad. All right, guys, this is gonna take a turn for the worst. Just be prepared. It's almost like, do you think that it could be like an instinct or something? Like maybe that's just like natural selection, and it's like there's a bunch of dudes that want to fuck. I'm just finding them even more. I'm finding the guys that are even more willing, or something like that. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, I go to a rave or something like that, and honestly, like, I'm not that compelled or drawn to like girls that are just fucking showing, it all. Like, it's almost like, okay,
those girls are kinda...
what do I have to look forward to?
Yeah, they're kind. I mean, those girls. You know, I think they have a word for it. I think it's called like slut or something like that. But they're just
slut.
Yeah, they're just easy. You know, and don't get me wrong, the world needs girls like that. They're nice to look at. And a lot of them are sweethearts, obviously. But
yeah, I mean, come on, how much dick are they sucking?
Yeah, I know, but exactly. But you look at some of these girls and it's like, girl, come on, like put on a sweater or something. Like it's too easy. You know what I mean? It's too, and I'm not complaining, but like sometimes it is too easy. You see some of these girls and you're like, really? Like that's it? Like no chase at all?
But also it's going to be a problem too. Say you go and talk to her, there's going to be other guys that are right there like, oh yeah, I saw your tits earlier too. Don't you want to say what's up to me?
Totally.
You know?
Yeah, and she's like, oh, I slept with him this morning. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so you guys have a fucking history, you know?
Yeah, I mean, girls like that, like they, you know, if you've ever like met a girl like that in like a bar or something, you know, you kind of have that alarm that goes off where like, oh shit, she knows everybody, mostly the dudes, and you're kind of like, all right, see you later, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not as familiar with that scene, but yeah, completely. I don't know. I think that it's a great little thing. It's almost like peacocking, you know. These girls, obviously, I mean, to be completely honest, I've been to some, dance parties or like raves, whatever the fuck you want to call
Discotheque.
Where there's fucking fat chicks wearing underwear.
Ew.
And you're just like, okay, everyone wears underwear. It's just like, what made this woman think
it's underwear
that
for
she's
a
like,
reason.
oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking go and show my big belly too.
Yeah, there's some girls like that, right? I think we talked about that in the last one, where it was like, there's some girls that like they have like smoking hot friends, and then they think like just by association, you know, the girl that weighs like 300 pounds can also get away with wearing the skimpy little clothes.
Well, it's because I think she knows she's gonna get fucked too. I mean, come on, fuck. I mean, guys roll in packs, you know, it's like a pack of dudes, and it's like, all right, dude, hey, you draw the short straw, bro. You're just gonna have to do it. What else are we gonna do?
I guess.
Yeah, and so he's like, fuck, I gotta get fucking smashed. Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna get smashed literally by the hippo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not fat shaming, but just saying it wouldn't hurt to drop a couple 100 pounds, you know?
I mean, we kind of are. I mean, it's unhealthy. Like, I don't... It's not like it hurts my eyes or anything like that.
I'm just saying.
I've tasted fucking stale soda or something like that where it's not my favorite, you know? Yeah. It's not my favorite flavor, but...
That's what we're going to call those girls, stale soda.
Yeah, it's like...
You got the hot cocoa, and then you got the stale soda.
I didn't just pop the tab on this one, you know? Yeah. It's like, that shit's been aerating in the fridge for a little while, and it's almost like, you know what, if you love soda that much, okay, it's better than no soda, but you're not going to go to the store and be like, where are the open cans, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, I'll stick with the good, sleek Red Bull. The sugar-free Red Bull, I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, it's almost like the carbonation has left that drink, you know? You're like, maybe I'll take a fresh one.
Yeah, I don't want the one that's been sitting in the red cup all night, you know?
Exactly.
Ugh. Anyway, so yeah, episode 100, good shit, talking about rave girls and...
winter?
Yeah, and road rage for quite a bit. We talked about that. We were both talking about recently how we've been really enjoying the comedy of Mark Normand.
Yes, he is a pretty funny guy. I would say he's my number one comic right now. I mean, I'm not sure what necessarily he has coming or what's going on. Maybe he has a recent tour. That's why he's been on a lot of podcasts recently. But
Yeah.
man, I'm so grateful for those outlets, for that platform, because I want to have been exposed to him. And now I can't fucking get enough. I go and I'll search his name and see the other podcasts he's on.
He's awesome.
Because he's so fucking funny, and honestly, it opens me up to learning about new podcasts. Like recently, I started listening to Legion of Skanks podcast, and man, that shit is an A plus. That one is fucking wild. Like, oh my god, I'm at work and I think, man, I gotta turn my fucking headphones down. If someone catches a fucking smidge of this,
exactly.
if someone hears this, man,
cancel.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna get fucking fired. They're gonna give me a fucking sexual harassment claim for what I'm listening to.
Oh yeah, that's some of the raunchy stuff I listen to. Don't you hate that label? I don't mean to label it raunchy, but
well, it is
based on most people's taste. A lot of the stuff that we listen to, comedy podcasts,
not
especially,
safe for work.
Not safe for work at all. Yeah, but it's the best because it pulls you through your day. If you have a job where you're lucky enough to be able to chill and either work on a computer or work doing whatever, but have music or podcasts in the background. Lifesaver.
Man, I just think
lifesaver.
I'm surprised there's not rules on that right now. Like, I mean, think about it. Like, when you use your computer at work, you're not going on porn, bro. And if you are, you're fucking stupid.
You mean you're not supposed to?
No, bro, you
Whoops.
shouldn't be.
Whoops.
And if you do, go with the most generic search. Just pick whatever's on the front page.
All right, I'm a mistake. No, I'm just teasing.
Like, okay, this is what they think I like. Okay.
Darn. See, I have porn as my screensaver at work.
Yeah, but it's almost like I would think that in the next, so many years, they're going to start to say, you can't listen to this particular stuff at work because for all anyone knows, I could be listening to a pro fucking, mass shooting podcast. And then it's just somebody talking about how funny I should do it and stuff like that, and like ways that I could possibly get a higher head count or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I could be listening to a podcast that would be like the Anarchist Cookbook podcast of like how to make bombs while I'm at work or something like that.
So
like,
you listen to that too?
I don't think that they would be okay with that.
Yeah, I'll give them time. They'll start getting like China and they'll start cracking down on everything. And if you're listening to anything fun or that promotes free thinking, they'll probably start cracking down on it, honestly.
Well, and a lot of people at work, they're like, your music. I'm like, bitch, I haven't listened to music at work in a long fucking time.
Yeah, once in a while I'll mix it up, It's like the other day I was like, I started my day off with some AC/DC, and I was like, this is great, man, and I listen to some Raconteurs, listen to some Beatles, it's like I listen to good headphones, But most of the time, I would say over 75% of the time, podcasts. Totally.
Yes, I would suggest randomly I'll just be like driving or something like that, and I'll pull up some shit like fucking Beethoven, whatever, just some crazy classical, dude. It's so weird how it changes your mind, like how you feel and how you think if you just mix it up with something like that, where because sometimes at work obviously it's dragging, but almost anything is better than that, so listening to some weird kind of thing for a little while, you would definitely be surprised. I was listening the other night to some violin. I used to play the violin, and I was like, man, it just makes me feel different to hear it. I don't know if it's just because like I have the nostalgia from like when I was younger playing it, and it almost like made me think, fuck, I want to play that. But I almost think that might be some of the connection I have with older music or like classical or something like that.
Isn't it weird to think when you listen to classical, you'll never be able to listen to the real thing? It's always people doing covers of classical because when it was created, there were no recording devices. So you're always listening to some, guy.
This is the 100th time. This is the 100th dude that played it, and he just so happened to be at that right place at the right time.
Yeah, and they recorded it with whatever orchestra or whatever or whoever, and it's like you're always listening to covers of classical. You'll never listen to the real thing. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, classical's a fucking weird ass genre.
Yeah,
like
I wonder how many people back in the day were like, hey, let's put this combination together, and there was like a rock song or like a Billy Joel type song written back in like Mozart's era, and they sang along and they played it, and people were like, that's not popular, we don't like it, and it was just lost to time. But like I guarantee you, like there was like some innovative stuff back then or jazzy stuff created, and they're like, no, that's not it's not popular, it's not worthy of being recorded, and then they didn't write it down on sheet music and it was lost to time. Guaranteed, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows, maybe it was recreated and that's fucking Nirvana or something like that. Like,
could be.
Who knows what
okay
who knows what gives people that inspiration? Maybe it's just like, yeah, somebody says it or this or that, but it could just be like instinct or something that it's almost like nature has caused us to create that and say that words in that way. Like it's almost, a stretch to think that you're doing something that no one ever has ever done in the history of humans.
Yeah. I think things are so wacky now. I mean, obviously, social media and the whole world being connected has kind of fucked things up. I think because everyone before was in like small communities, right? And there was like a structure, and there were like social norms and things that were accepted. And now we have the social norms of the world. And I think that's kind of throwing things off. And I think people are hypersensitive to things. I don't know, I'm talking out my ass right now.
Closing the window, we hear some fucking neighbor kids.
Closing the window.
Don't want to fucking... Oh yeah, hey, yeah, okay.
Hey, let's just shout really loud.
Yeah.
Right by the window.
Hey, Dad, those guys are recording a podcast. We better go and fucking interrupt it. We want fucking 20,000 people to listen to it this week.
Climb in the window, son. Get in there. All right.
Fucking A.
Anyway. So, what else is new with you?
Not much, man. Excited for vacation.
I'll talk about that. Yeah.
Going to Universal Studios Orlando. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a bit expensive, but I'm really excited. I don't want to, try and, think about exactly what I'm going to do or whatever. That's the beauty of a vacation, I think, is you just kind of go, just see what the wind does.
Definitely.
And see how the weather is. And maybe you want to go to get a drink or, ride this log ride or something. So
let's talk about that, though. Let's talk about the drink. Because we're doing Sober October, but we're both, myself also, I'm going to be going to LA halfway through the month. We're thinking we're going to have a little ticket that kind of allows us to, like, an imaginary ticket that kind of gives us a free pass on drinking while we're out of town. You guys could implement that if you're raging alcoholics and you need a break during the middle of the month. Some would call that cheating, but I think we're going to implement it because it'd be fun on vacation, enjoying ourselves, But to each their own, but that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I don't think that drinking's, to me, it's that big of a deal. It's just when I do have drinks, I just drink them. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a, another sense of mine to be like, oh, well, there's beer and I'll just drink that, Like I'm completely fine with that. I'm good. I could always, go with another beer even if I'm fucking smashed. I'm like, I'll fucking take another one. But I think that possibly taking a break during Sober October, if you had a problem, could possibly be a problem. You know what I'm saying? If you're drinking every night, or you're waking up every day, or you go to the fucking liquor store and pick up a fifth every day or something like that, and you're doing it to feel better. I mean, I think that's kind of why I want to do it, because I don't think I drink that often. But also in the situations where it's a recreational environment, like on the weekend, I most often drink on the weekend. So it's almost like I don't want to rely on it. I want to be able to just be like, oh, this is going to be a fun time and everything's going to be good. It's almost like it's resetting my brain to not focus on something externally or something that's outside of me for fun.
It's a great reset. I agree. Yeah, I did it last year and it was good, man. You just gotta be careful when you come back though, because it's gonna hit you really hard because your system's gonna kind of adjust to no alcohol. So be careful going back into it when you hit it again in November, because you're gonna be a little more sensitive to it. So just be mindful of that. Be careful.
Yeah. It's been interesting because I know some people that aren't willing to do Sober October. They're like, you know what, I'm healthy enough, I've done enough, and I think, man, that's exactly where I don't want to be. Like, I'm up for a challenge. Like, if it was fucking keep your fingers crossed September or something, Oh,
you did
and
too?
all week you had to keep your, all month you had to keep your fingers crossed. I'd be like, dude, I'm not going to fucking do that. What am I going to learn from it,
No Fat February?
Or, yeah, I don't fucking know.
I don't know if that's a thing.
No, it's No Fap November.
Oh.
That's a real thing.
No shave, no fap. Just sad. It would be a sad time in the 1970s.
Yeah,
everyone was hairy.
I'm not down with that. That seems like it's a little bit too, like, I don't care. It's not like I'm like, oh my god, I fucking go home and fucking jack off every day or something like that. Like, even if I did, I want to be that worried about it. Like, okay, like,
yeah,
I mean, but some people I've heard, oh, it's much better fucking not doing stuff like that. And
well, I think it all comes down to discipline. You know, I mean, you might be a little on edge and wanting to, you know, bang your coworker after a couple days, but I think eventually it'll subside. You know. And it's all discipline. It's all discipline.
Don't you think that going home every day and doing that would be what's helping you, you know, cope with that sensation? It's almost like it's a human instinct for men to be like, yeah, I want to impregnate somebody. You know what I'm saying?
The sofa. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. You know.
I feel it, yeah. No, I feel it, yeah. And I think it is good. I think that kind of stuff is a good test. You know, as long as it's in a healthy arena. You know, I think if the ultimate goal is to have more self-discipline and kind of have perspective on things, yeah, I think it's good. I think it's totally good.
Yeah.
As long as you're not getting crazy and, you know, I don't know, going off the rails just with anything. But I think it's good. I think it's beneficial.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to no drink October or sober October or whatever it's called.
I think it'll be good. I think for me what I'm going to have to do is, because I drink a ton, the big thing is on nights off, it's like, what do sober people do? You kind of get to that point where it's just like, I'm so used to cracking open a beer or going to the bar or whatever, and you're kind of, or going to a concert and having a drink, you know, it's like, what do people do, you know? And it's like, so I've found the biggest thing in the past was sticking with exercise. So I do boxing. That's like a great outlet. Like once you're done with a boxing workout, you don't want to eat like shit. You don't want to be drinking. Like you just want to like rest when you're done, you know, and like eat something healthy or get some protein, you know. I was thinking it'd be cool to take up golf. I've been kind of thinking about taking up golf. I think it would be a fun...
The douchiest sport.
Yeah, the country club douche Caddyshack experience. Like, I'm all about that, man. You know, I'm already a douche anyway, so I figure I might as well embrace it fully and put on the funny hat. And get out there and do some...
clean some vaginas.
Yeah, clean some vaginas, yeah. But yeah, I think that would be... I think that'd be fun. I might as well just take up tennis while I'm at it. Just get the whole country club experience going.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to start practicing more, which I always feel is fun. Maybe pool.
I love pool. Yeah, I love the bar sports.
I think that would be fun because I could go to like a main event or something, and they have like a pretty good fucking billiards table. Yeah. So yeah, you might need to go near a bar. But I think that would also build your self-discipline so that you're resistance. Like, oh, I don't have to get a drink right now. I'll take a Coke or something like that.
Pool is fun.
And honestly, I think in October, I don't really drink too much soda, but in those situations, I think that I might, you know.
Yeah, you just go to the bar and grab a seltzer water. Be like, yeah, I'm gonna be a little bitch and have a seltzer water, and then you put a little lime. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, and you can kind of pacify your desire to have a drink in your hand.
It's like a placebo.
It is definitely. You know what's funny is I actually went about a week ago. I hung out with this girl and we went to a bar. And I had an early day the next day. It was the day I was going to drive out of town. And we were going to do some filming the next day. So I had a really early morning the next day. And I got off work and I met up with this girl. And I told her, I was like, hey, I'm not drinking tonight, you know. And she was cool with it. She's like, oh, it's fine, you know. And she was like slamming back shots. And I'm like, all right, you know. But it was kind of funny sitting at the bar because after a while, you know, once you decline the drink and you just have water or soda or whatever and eat a little something, it's like, oh, this is no big deal. This is fine. And I actually did start getting that kind of like placebo effect of feeling kind of loose and having a good time and feeling relaxed, you know, just like I do at the bar after a couple drinks. But I wasn't drinking anything. And I think it's all, you know, it's all psychological. Definitely.
Yeah, that's smart. I think, yeah. I mean, obviously I don't live so close to I don't work so close to the center of the city, so I'm sure you're probably going out most times and you're like, yeah, I could go here or go there. I might know some people, but with me it's like, man, I'm just gonna fucking go home. It's easy for me. But the problem is sometimes I'll buy like a 15-pack of beer and I'll be like, oh hell yeah, 15-pack, $15, it's 4 Peaks or something like that. That's my shit. Get it home and then I'm like, okay, and I just fucking drink it all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I drink it all, and I'm like, man, I drank 15 fucking beers this weekend.
Oh, I've been there. Yeah, many times.
And then I'm like, what was the point? And it's just like, you get caught in that.
It's a little vacation.
It's almost like, you know, you're fucking drinking Pepsis or something. You know, if you're, like, out to eat, they're like, oh, you want a refill? Yeah.
I'd rather drink 6 beers than 6 Pepsis.
Oh, fuck yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I think for your health, honestly, I think it's better.
Any day.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the beer rots your teeth as much as Coke and Pepsi, but
yeah.
I had a Coke on the way here. I had one of those big McDonald's Cokes. It was hot as shit when I was driving. I was like, man, I'd go for an ice cold Coca-Cola. And believe it or not, this is not a product placement. I don't think Coca-Cola needs any help from us. But yeah, I had one. It went down so smooth, man. And it was just great. It was just delicious.
Sometimes it's just what you need.
It's exactly.
Damn, now I feel like I want a soda.
I know. Let's go get a soda pop.
I know, right? Well, anyways, it's been a good conversation, man.
It's been a great time.
We should start to dial it down.
I think we should. Episode 100, everyone. Thank you for listening. Make sure you subscribe and like. Tell your friends.
That only helps us. Leave a comment. Send it to your friend. Everything helps. Leave a comment. Even if you fucking hate us, leave a comment, please. I would love to hear just something. Just tell me you hate my stupid fucking dumb gay voice. I don't care. That's fine.
Or positive accolades, whatever, And we also have a email in the description so you guys can contact us directly and send us your nudies and your questions. And if you have any topics that you want to talk about, feel free to send them our way. And maybe, just maybe, we'll talk about them on the next podcast.
Yeah, we got to do like a mailbag or something.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. We're looking forward to answering your questions. And anyway, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, thanks. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.